Hey guys, it's Mr. Schwannekamp. Today we are talking about table problems. I'm going to minimize me because I'm way too big. All right, we're going to talk about table problems today. This is free response. There is not something specific you have to turn in today, but you need to practice this stuff. You are going to get as much out of these next 4 or 5 weeks as you put in. Okay, if you're just trying to scrape by, you can just scrape by. But why not earn your college credit? Okay, why not take this crazy world that we're living in right now and use that time when you're at home to practice for this AP exam and get that 3, 4, or 5 that you were going to get? Okay, I know a lot of people aren't going to be working like we are going to be. Okay, or like you can, and if you need to get to that point, you're going to be great. All right, so today we're focusing on table problems. I've got a couple examples for you to run through on Wednesday or day 3 or whenever you get to it. There is some problems you're going to do on Schoology and submit to see where you're at. Okay, and I'll grade those for you. All right, so we are looking at table problems here. All right, I'm trying to see how to go. So this paper is over here. This is the free response questions. This is the thing I'm looking at, the table free response packet. This is the front page of it, and we'll just kind of talk through it. So I tried to make this, I made it last year, but it just kind of running through what's on a table problem. So when we see a table, okay, you know what a table looks like. It's this thing right here. Not that. That's going on. Okay. Table problems, normally when you see a table problem, there's a couple things they're going to do. Integral or derivative approximations. So they'll be like, hey, looking at this table, what is the integral from here to here? Well, that would be using RAM. Okay. Some sort of RAM concept to get that going. Or they'll say, hey, approximate the derivative. Well, looking at numbers to approximate derivative, we'd look at slope. And so that would be what we're looking at there. Other things we can do with tables, we can do mean value, intermediate value theorem, those types of things quite often. But that's the main idea. If this were the actual AP exam, that was a full length thing, I guarantee this would be a free response question on the test. It's not been on there. They have simplified down to only 2 questions on the AP exam, 2 free response. I would still guess that this is a prominent role on that test. Okay, so we're not going to be able to cover everything as in depth as I would want to if we were in the classroom, but I bet that this question is still on the test here on May 12th. So we want to make sure we're ready for that. Okay, I guarantee it's. I would say very high probability it's on the AP exam. It's been on the test 10 of the last 10 years. So you can see if they put it on the test 10 years in a row, it's going to be pretty important. All right. So when we are talking about this, here are the calculus concepts that are being covered. Okay. So approximating derivative using 2 points. So finding the slope. Approximating an integral using RAM or trapezoidal rule. Okay, we could do some rate problems with this stuff. So rate in versus rate out, those types of things. And you'll see that here for sure. Finding average value. Now, average value technically is not on this year's AP exam. Remember, average value, that's like you want to find the average value of velocity, the average velocity, and they give you velocity. That's when we add them all up and divide by however many we did. So if we wanted to find the average velocity from 2 to 10, we would integrate from 2 to 10, and then you would multiply by 1 over 10 minus 2 in the front. That's not on this year's test. They could do something similar to it, but they won't do the same. Average rate of change, that's the same thing as approximating a derivative. IVT, MVT, EVT. I know that's something we're not great at. I will continue to try to work through some things to get us better at that. And then the one thing that we got to be able to do is over under approximation. So, like looking at this graph right there, we did a right RAM with that table. Is that right RAM going to be an under and over approximation? Well, it would be an over approximation because it's increasing. Okay, kind of got to remember that's true. It's right RAM, it's increasing, so it's an over approximation. Remember when we're talking about RRAM and LRAM being over under approximations? That's because whether it's increasing or decreasing. If we're talking trapezoidal rule, it's an over and under approximation because of the concavity. When in doubt, draw a picture. If you drew a picture and said, hey, I don't know if it's because of increasing or decreasing or because of concavity, you could probably figure it out pretty much. Some things to remember here. Don't forget your units. Okay, don't overthink it. What are your labels? What's on top? What's on bottom? If you put that together, you should be pretty good at that. Be on the lookout for always statements. Is this function is it always increasing? Is it always concave down? That's going to give you a better understanding of what's happening. It'll help you to understand what the graph looks like, and definitely when you're trying to justify stuff, why it's true. IVT versus MVT. Is it continuous and differentiable? Remember, IVT, it has to be continuous. Mean value theorem, you're talking about derivatives, it has to be differentiable. Make sure you're stating that in your justifications. And then over under approximation. When in doubt, graph it out. You know that. Getting a visual is always going to help you understand the data. All right. So today we're focusing on table problems. That's just a quick run through of what's going on here. Okay. In this packet, you're going to open that up. There are 3 free response questions after that first page. The first one is one from 2018. Once you've tried it, click on this answer key button right here, and then it'll work you to it. You got to find where the problem is, and then you can work through it. Okay. If you're still stuck, here's a YouTube video of somebody else working it out for you and kind of seeing the points. Same thing with the next one, 2017, there's the answer key and then a YouTube video. There's the 15 with an answer key, okay, with a YouTube video. So you're going to kind of work through it. You don't have to do all 3, okay? I would suggest you do 2, okay? My goal is to get you to about 30 minutes a day. I'm doing my best to keep it at 30 minutes. It is an AP test and everything else, but that's about 30 minutes. 2 free response questions is 15 minutes apiece, so that's 30 minutes. At least 2. If you need more practice, do a third. If you're quick, do a third. Okay, once you've done that, I wouldn't mind if you filled out this quick form for me. It's not homework. It'll take you 30 seconds. You click on it. Hey, what'd you get on the first one out of 9? Hey, what'd you get on the second one out of 9? And it's just a quick check to see where you're at. Okay, if you only did one of them, still submit your results. I at least want to see what you did on one. I'm going to take that and use it when we do our Zoom meetings to see what do we want to go over. Okay, so day 1, table problems, making sure we understand RAM and trapezoidal rule. If you've forgotten, use the internet, use your notes, use Schwann Academy. It's a wonderful website. See you guys. Have a good one. Let me know if you have questions.